Hello! If you're new here, my name is Caro, also known as Picasso. I've been cosplaying since 2009 and I've been going to anime conventions since 2008. If you're watching this, it might be because you're already in the community of cosplay and going to anime conventions or comic-cons and things like that. You know, when it comes to the world of cosplay, there's a big variety on what you enjoy to do. In cosplay, of course, people cosplay their favorite characters, either bought or handmade, and the style can vary. Either if you're a woman, a man, or non-binary and such, you can cosplay whatever you desire, as long as it's not something problematic, which we're not gonna discuss about here today. What a lot of cosplayers enjoy to do is taking photography of their costume and trying to create a story or bring to life in an image of the series that they enjoy, the character that they do, or even their own OC, original characters. Just taking a selfie with their own cell phone might not be enough to satisfy the need to showcase one's creation or cosplay their own characters. And the best way to present that would be to hire a photographer. Of course, you don't want to choose any type of photographer, like for example, the one that you find in malls or just weddings oriented and stuff like that, because they're not familiar into the world of anime, comic books and whatnot, video games, of how to bring out the story within the costume itself and to play the characters. So we have cosplay photographers. With cosplay photographer, you can go either during conventions or outside of conventions. For example, go to open spaces if you need to have more of the city vibe or more into the forest for natural vibes, or you can even rent a studio for those matters, either white background or a theme studio that might have in most city these days. So I went to Katsucon 2025 to meet up with 3 photographers and interview them about their world experience and guidance, I should say, about being a photographer for the world of cosplay. And during those interviews, I'm gonna bring up some of my point of view about my experience within cosplay photography, because I did try to be the photographer at some point. It is not my cup of tea. I do enjoy taking pictures, and it is a lot of work, especially when it comes to editing, knowing the position for the lighting, the locations, and how to make your model comfortable and things like that. It was a good experience on my part, but here is what those photographers have to say. Thank you again for accepting for this interview. What is your name and what are you known by online?
Hey, so I'm Athel Rogers, known by AR Cosplay.
Hi, my name is Kyo. You can find me on Instagram at Kyo.png.
My name is Paul, and I go by KameraNinja online. Yes, I know it's a goofy name, but it's what I got. I'm sorry.
How long have you been doing photography so far?
Oh, so I am 32. I've been doing it since I was 16.
Oh, that's quite a long time.
Cosplay photography I've been doing for such a long time. I may say over 10 years by now. Yeah, give or take. I can't really recall. I just done this for such a long time.
Cosplay photography, is that the only type of photography that you do, or do you do some other type?
So I'm between cosplay photography and portrait photography. So that's a mix of my businesses.
Do you work full-time as a photographer, or that's most likely like a part-time thing?
I'm full-time right now. I've been since I was 16 years old.
Well, oh, that's awesome. I'm happy for you for that.
No, I'm actually a photographer. In real life, I actually go out, take pictures for such as family, engagements, weddings, all sorts of events. So I actually do this for a living.
So you do a lot of cosplay photography. Is that what you do full-time?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Just generalize. No, I do all kinds of photography. I do everything from weddings to events to corporates to headshots, music videos, corporate videos, narrative, documentary. The list goes on. Cosplay is just the thing that has taken off and is a lot of fun because I have a lot of friends, because I'm in my heart, in my soul, I'm a giant nerd. And yeah, because I'm a nerd, I do this a lot and I'm known. But it doesn't It pays a little bit, but it kind of pays enough just for it to sustain itself.
So far, have you done only conventions or you have done private studio shoots?
So I do a mix of all three. So I do studio, location, convention. Majority of my work is at conventions, but I really am trying to shift more this year towards location and studio because I can cater the location to the cosplay versus the cosplay to the location like at cons. But I make it work either way.
When it comes to camera, which camera do you like to use? Which one is your favorite so far?
So I've used every camera, every brand across like in existence right now. Right now I'm on Nikon. I have a really nice Nikon Z8. I say every time I buy a new camera, it's gonna be the last one for a while, but we'll see.
Okay.
But Nikon's my favorite one.
So right now I'm working with the Sony a7 III, and my lens is a Tamron 2.8. It goes, what is it again? 28 to 75, almost forgot. But yes, it is my handy dandy camera I've been using for years, never swapped it out.
The long story short answer is I use every camera. I've used every camera. Currently in my arsenal is mostly Nikon cameras and Fuji cameras, but I've used Sony, I've used Canon, I've used Hasselblad, I've used really niche cameras. You know what? The camera that I probably use more than any other camera in all reality is my cell phone.
Yeah.
So like, there's no such thing as like shh. What? Speak of the devil.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I use all kinds of cameras. Mostly Nikon and Fuji right now, just because it's what feels comfortable in my hands. But like any camera will do the job that you need to do.
When it comes to lens, what type of lens do you like to work with?
I live and die by the 20-70 2.8. It's basically a mid-range zoom, so it goes from like a little wide to like pretty close up. It's a really good range. It's a great lens. It's sharp. It is just outstanding, and the price you pay is, the price.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yes and no.
It depends on the vibe, I guess, of the picture.
Kind of. So there's an expression my father used to say all the time, which is you have to use the right tool for the job. Mm-hmm. And photography is exactly like that. Like a lens it's an important feature for what you want to do. Mm-hmm. But like you can have a lens that's like, oh, I typically like, for example, like myself, I typically like to stay anywhere between 50 mil and a little bit wider because I love a lot of context and like wide storytelling narrative elements to my photos. But like, 85 is a great lens for a lot of things. 135 gives you a lot of fun stuff. There's some really cool things that you can do at the 200 millimeter plus range that no one ever tries. Mm-hmm. Every lens is an opportunity to tell a different story. So there's no bad lens, which is a long-winded way to say I don't have a favorite lens, but I do often use my 50 mil and between 17 and 50 mil, I play a lot with that when it comes to cosplay photography.
And when you do photography, is there a specific item or equipment that you like to use and recommend other photographers to use?
Oh yeah, so I have a Tiffin Pro Mist filter. It's a filter that takes off just a little bit of sharpness and it's like this really cool hazy effect and makes the photos look really kind of surrealist, which I think works really well for cosplay.
Do you do a lot of editing? And if that is the case for your pictures, what software do you use?
Yeah, so I do a lot of editing. I feel that the raw file is just capturing just, data, and the editing is what really separates, like each photographer. Mm-hmm. So I'm ingesting in Lightroom. It used to be Capture One. I'm trying Lightroom this year just trying something new. And then I do the final editing like hair, skin, color grading in Photoshop.
So I first start exporting my photos into Lightroom Classic. That's where I do most of my I guess my rough draft, get most of my color setting, the idea how I want the photo to be like in Lightroom. I bulk edit there. And then once I'm happy with that, I actually transfer them to Photoshop and I do all the last minute final touch up to the photos.
I use a lot of different programs, Lightroom, Capture One, Photoshop, which are kind of the standard, but using like outside programs of like the norm, there's a lot of cool opportunities you can find. Anything from like DaVinci Resolve, you can get some really fun things in photos, even though it's a video editing app. There's a bunch of cool elements that some photo editing apps on your phone can do that you're not going to readily have in Photoshop or Lightroom. Like you can find opportunities at any spectrum of the applications. But that's my non-committed answer to be like, yeah, I use anything. I'm not committed to anything.
Gotcha.
It does the job. Yeah, I miss the darkroom.
Specifically for cosplay photography, do you prefer to shoot on your own, or do you usually have an assistant, or sometimes you prefer to have them?
So I like having an assistant. Every single year, I tell myself I'm going to hire an assistant for these big cons. I never do. I always forget. Assistants are great because like they hold things, they can like get water, and like it's just a presence to like keep you company during shoots. But I never get the time to. But I would love to have an assistant. I sometimes have one for like my location and studio shoots because I do ask, especially for cosplayers who like I'm shooting with for the first time, to like have someone there with them.
Yeah.
Just
for a role.
Yeah.
Also.
Thing. Having an assistant at cons is like my dream, and it's not really a problem to get one. It's just like me not doing it.
Do you have a type of skill that would make you different compared to other cosplay photographers?
My unfair advantage in cosplay photography is that my photography is not based on doing cosplay photography. Before cosplay photography, I was a wedding photographer. I was a editorial photographer. And before that, I was a professional illustrator. I graduated school for painting. And so my unfair advantage when it comes to being a cosplay photographer is...
You have backgrounds.
I have backgrounds to pull from, and I pull ideas that are outside of the echo chamber of cosplay photography. And the other advantage is I'm old as hell, and I've been doing this for a long time. So I got a wealth of experience of just like problem solving. You know what? That's actually probably one of the things I love the most about cosplay photography, like specifically con photography, taking pictures at cons, because everything is super fast and nothing ever goes according to plan, and it all has to do with thinking on your feet, problem solving in real time to come up with a really fun answer that you get a good result, and that everyone who's partaking and participating is having a great time. And so it's a lot of moving pieces, and it makes for a fun real-time strategy of crafting art.
Yeah, for sure. I think my eye in cosplay photography is slightly different than most photographers because I, for one, used to cosplay too, I love cosplay. I did it for myself and I thought, this is a lot of fun. I would love to share this with other people. So when I go out, take photo for other cosplayers, I imagine the same respect I want for myself for the other people. And so I bring that extra detail into the photo shoot. Like, say there's like a mishapping of their cosplay or the wig is not in the right place, I can see that kind of small detail. I'll ask them like, hey, can I fix that up? And they allow me, and then I make sure their costume is perfect. That's photoshopping too, by the way.
That is true. that is true. Do you have any dream cosplay to shoot or a series that you want to have a proper photo shoot?
A dream cosplay?
Yeah.
Oh my god, so much. Honestly, my dream cosplay is so simple. I want to find Miles Morales from Spider-Verse. We go to New York City and we're going to pretend we're climbing like skyscraper walls.
Amazing.
And then maybe possibly get arrested from the police because that's not allowed. Who knows? But
You'll make it work.
I'll make it work.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to be cooking next, okay? I'm just going to find the perfect Miles Morales Spider-Man. We're going to go to New York. We're going to get some fabulous photos.
Perfect. So if you do cosplay Miles Morales, like, you know who to contact.
Yeah.
Oh, great question. Something I've always wanted to shoot but haven't yet is a Persona 5 group.
Ooh.
I love that series, and I haven't shot many cosplays of it, like at all. Actually,
I'm surprised because there's a lot.
Yeah, and like it fits my style. It's something I'm passionate about, so like it will show in the photos. And one day I really want to get a group together and just be like, let's find the spot that fits perfectly and just do it.
When it comes to during a photo shoot for either other photographer, cosplayers, or bystander just being around the photo shoot area, what would some etiquette that you would recommend people to follow during those photo shoots?
We are still shooting cosplay generally at a convention where there's a lot of people. We should respect that it is a public environment, and so we should consider about sharing a space, you know, like if a photographer, like if you're shooting at the corner and someone else want to shoot at that corner, allow it, you know. We should be sharing the space that we're allowed to be in as well. Like if there's a lot of bystander walking through, you should allow them to go from their destination because we don't want to disrupt any flow in the convention. So we just need to remind ourselves that this is a public space and that it is all shared among everybody else here with us that day.
When it comes to the world of photography, especially in the cosplay world, is there any pet peeve that you have that others do, either just the cosplayer or the photographer?
So one of my personal pet peeves, and I'm not calling out anyone. Sometimes I feel that a lot of cosplay photographers have lights because they look more professional. Like I see a lot of like really elaborate light setups, and I'm kind of like, I don't really need that. So as you see, like I don't use lights for most cons. I don't feel I don't have to. I like the natural light of most cons. Like it's punchy, dramatic. I dig it, which is my style, which is fine. But there are some spots where I'm just like, you don't need lights here. Like objectively don't need lights here. And I feel that a lot of photographers have the lights because, you know, it makes them feel more pro, it makes them look, you know, have the look. And it's kind of, like it's fine, but big pet peeve of mine is like, you're making the photos look a bit worse because you're adding light that doesn't need to be there.
It wasn't necessary, yeah.
When it comes, I don't like to nitpick other photographers per se because I think everybody has different style. I just think that a lot of photographers don't necessarily communicate very well with their model, and there's always a mishap when it comes to that. So as long as there's a clear communication and you're just not going in it without any clear concept what you want out of this photo shoot, I think that's really all it is. It's just clear motive in this photo shoot so that you can get really, you know, awesome photos together.
Yeah. Do you prefer that the model would be already ready with their poses and idea of what the picture is, or you don't mind helping on what would be more appealing for a certain kind of pose and scenery?
This question is super relevant and super important, and it highlights kind of the relationship between a model and a photographer, where like a model typically should bring a portfolio of poses and ideas, while at the same time the photographer is the outside eyes with an overarch vision. And the way that they should work together is similar to a dance, where it's a partnership where you're going to be working back and forth with each other to craft a singular vision. And so the best case scenarios is when there's a model with a portfolio of ideas and poses, and the photographer can utilize that to help craft a singular narrative idea with like constant communication back and forth so everyone's on the same page. Now that being said, like I said, I've shot a ton of weddings and like things where people are just, they're not professional models. And so you got to be able to work with everybody and make everyone confident. Because at the end of the day, like as a photographer, it's not my job to make people's poses. It's my job to direct people so that they're comfortable in front of the camera. If that elicits really good poses, and sometimes you have to like marionette in a way of just like, hey, you know, take your head tilt just a little this way and move your hands just a little bit that way, because you can see what's happening in the camera that they can't.
Exactly.
But like it's a partnership. You want to go back and forth and be like, and they'll like move into a position after the thing. It's like, you know, that's a brilliant idea. Let me tweak it, take your head a little bit out this way. And they're like, okay, great. And teamwork.
I mean, it helps if the cosplayer have a vision they want out of the photo shoot, whether they know what kind of pose they want, storytelling, just if they have an idea and they love to share it with me, that's great. However, if a cosplayer, there's plenty of cosplayers, they themselves love to look like their favorite character. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're modeled and know how to pose, and say they come to us, the photographer, to help them a little bit to get a really good photo. And that's when I jump in like, hey, if you can't figure out how to pose, allow me to help you with that. As long as you trust me with that vision, yeah, we can get some really dope photo.
In my booking form, like there's a drop down that basically asks the model if they can pose or like should I direct, and I'm very good at directing.
Okay.
So honestly, I kind of prefer directing because I know what I like, I know how to shoot it, edit it, whatever. So like I'm like do this, do this, do this, and usually I prefer directing. But some models like come like ready to go, like let's go. So I'm like, all right, cool, and then they bang it out, and we're done in like 20 minutes, and that's fine. But I would say for the vast majority of cosplay models, they like direction, which I feel is something that I've been told is a big reason why people like working with me, because I know how to direct them exactly how I want and not just have them standing there posing in silence.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
When it comes to editing picture, what is your thought about people using AI?
To be honest, AI has always been a thing in Photoshop, especially in Photoshop. Outside of cosplay photography, even just photography, I began my life into this hobby through, illustration, drawing. I went to art school regarding to making beautiful artwork, and that like for the longest time Photoshop always has AI, especially if you use anything regarding to clone stamp tool, any lasso tool to get sampling, they all use AI. And so like I think AI, like depending how you use it, is beneficial, it's not that harmful, and regarding to the respect to the photo you bring and showcase it. Because if you just use it to just slightly enhance the photo, there should be no problem, honestly, because to be fair, art has always been inspiration from something else. It's a remix that you have been inspired and create and lay it out on the table. So there's nothing wrong essentially using a little bit of just slightly a bit of AI to enhance a vision you have. But when your artwork is just 100% AI, you're not really bringing this idea you have in mind. What you're essentially doing is stealing, So there's a limitation how much you should use AI in your artwork. If it's really there just to enhance it, sure, the technology has been there for years, like many years, to help like photographer, illustrator to make really beautiful artwork, for say people who just put inputs to make a fake artwork. That's stealing. But that's like my limitation regarding to what I see through AI.
Ooh. So so with AI, where I draw the line is, are you using AI to help you edit, or is AI doing the editing for you? So I use a lot of like the AI fill because it saves me a ton of time with like hair, background people. Like one click, it's gone. That is incredibly time saving for me, and I don't think like that's fine to me. Like that's not a bad thing. Where it gets kind of weird is when people are like basically making a photo from AI, which I wouldn't really call it a photo. I think as my friend put it, like it's a computer hallucinating.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So AI, if it helps, fine. If it's making the photo, I'm like, all right, that's not really not a photo.
Do you have any specific tip to give for new or current photographer or cosplayers when they want to get into a photo shoot?
For photographer, if you're new, don't just go at it. Just take as many photos, play around with it. It will never be perfect, but through the trial and error, you're gonna find your own style. And as long as you keep taking photos, your photo should only improve. And for cosplay models, honestly, if you want to get really good photo with us, I said is not, you don't need to bring like reference photo or poses you want to, but it does help me to have an idea what you want for the photo shoot. So whenever you have the chance to do some homework, find some reference photo, look in the mirror, get into a pose that you want to be in. Remember which angle looked the best for you. And as long as you have at least 3 good reference, I think the photographer like me will understand what you want out of your photo shoot, and so that you guys are objective to it, and you're going to get amazing photos.
When it comes to conventions, which convention is your favorite so far to go in? Just being an attendee, but also as a photographer.
Ooh, so this is a tricky question. I want to say KatsuCon.
Yeah.
I want to, but with KatsuCon, I like how everyone brings their A-game cosplay.
Yeah.
But I'm not the biggest fan of the Gaylord. I've shot the Gaylord to death. So I would say in terms of like actual cosplay, KatsuCon. But as a convention, honestly, my favorite one is probably Anime Boston.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to go there.
Yeah,
one
it's
day.
a really fun con. It's one of the few cons that still have that kind of like old school, kind of like everyone's here just for fun. They're just having fun with the cosplay.
Yeah.
And it's such a good environment.
It's less competitive in a way. So.
Yeah, also biased because I'm from Boston. But
I'm not too picky, honestly. I like shooting at a different environment. They offer different things. I definitely say the KatsuCon is definitely one of my favorites to shoot at because they have, a different environment that you can play around with. They have regalness. They have a forest. You can go outside. You can get a little industrial if you like to. So I think KatsuCon as like a playground is really neat for cosplay photography. And outside that, I do like, again, I'm from the DMV area, so I also like Otakon because, again, you can get really cool classical architect there, as well you can get some modern high skyscraper building there. So honestly, yeah, the Maryland, DC, Virginia area have great cons with great environment to take photos. But outside that, yeah.
For new photographers, what type of equipment you would avoid?
I would avoid expensive cameras. I would invest in lenses. Realistically, the camera body really doesn't matter. It's your lenses that are really going to determine what type of photos you can get of a cosplayer or something, just anything.
Yeah.
So invest in the lenses, not so much the camera body.
When it comes to pricing, how do you calculate the price for your services?
I try to be pretty logical in terms of my pricing. I price it depending on how much I think my time is worth. So I calculate how long it takes to take photos of the cosplayer, how long it takes to edit the photos, and then the communication between me and said client. And so that's why my price is set at a certain price. And I know a lot of people had come to me saying they love my artwork, but they can't afford my pricing. But they also said that they understand why I set this pricing and they respect that. So I try to keep it pretty logical in terms of pricing, and I think a lot of people seem fair because I put that much effort into my cosplay photos.
No, exactly. You don't want to overdo it for a low price or vice versa.
Yeah, it's not too low, but it's not too high. I think it's pretty reasonable based on how long I think it takes to edit and create a beautiful artwork.
So there's a price that photography is worth on, the market that's like portrait, just like whatever. You have to understand that cosplayers are not my actual shoots for my non-cost stuff, I charge $500.
Okay.
That's just that's the number.
Yeah.
And for cosplay, you're not gonna charge a cosplayer that much for a shoot. That's just not reasonable for a cosplayer. So I have to think about essentially, all right, what's worth it for me, but also I love this. I find it fun. I love the people. I love the people who work with me. So I want to work with them and at the same time not kill them for the pricing. So like my cosplay shoots, I put at $190, and instead of like kind of like doing the same amount of work as like my non-cosplay stuff, I just do like a bit less photos, a bit less time. So it's not like I'm taking away the quality, I'm just like reducing the amount of stuff that I give back. So everyone gets like 6 or 7 photos, which honestly is more than enough.
No, it's more than what I see usually, so.
Yeah, and it's a half-hour shoot.
Okay.
And my non-cosplay stuff is $500. It's 2-hour shoot with like 7 to 14 photos and 2 outfit changes. So it's a bit different, but it charges more. And I think it's something that I wish a lot of cosplay photographers kind of understood where, okay, so let's say you don't feel confident charging market rates for cosplay.
Yeah.
Fine. Don't reduce your price, like reduce what you're giving.
Yeah, because you don't want to overwork yourself at the same time, so.
Because there's people who I see who are charging really cheap and they're giving so much back, and I'm just like you're gonna burn out and then you're gonna kind of not have fun with it. Like,
exactly.
You have to find the balance between charging way too much and charging way too little. So I think so far that's a really good balance to have at $190, where like I kind of like I get enough to like, you know, cover the trip and like, you know, for the business, and it's not overcharging cosplayers who like who like can't afford it. So I try to be as accessible as possible while still respecting my time and experience as a photographer.
Do you have any fun stories or any accident that did happen during a photo shoot, and what did you do to just bypass this moment?
Oh, a funny moment. You know, this is day 3 of CosplaCon right here, right now. That's why I'm in like my pajamas, because I am at limit right here. So I have, honestly, this week, there has been plenty of fun mishapping. Like yesterday, well, my friend dropped the camera. I'm like, yo, is your camera okay? He's like, it's fine. His camera was not fine.
Oh no,
it's not fine. And so like a lot of what photographers do is like we are friends with other photographers and we always communicate with each other like, hey, do you have a lens for my camera body? And we're like, yeah, we got you. So you know, I lend him some of my lenses to him so that he can continue doing photo shoot or such like that. So that's what happened yesterday. For me, I have a cosplayer where I'm a big FGO fan. I love Fake Grand Order. So this guy came up with a character named Garrett as a fully armored cosplay. I'm like, this is so dope. I'm excited. Let me cook. And he said, I will let you cook, right? So his cosplay was very, very clean. Yeah. And I'm here like, I got some fake blood. Is it okay for me to splatter blood all over you? And he just like, go at it, right? So I just like paint all over his perfect makeup. And I'm here like, you're a mess. Beautiful. And we got some great photo out there. And he's like, thank God this is my last photo shoot. I'm out of this cosplay. I'm like, yeah, we did it. So that was fun. As long as they allow me to be messy with their cosplay, we're gonna get a fantastic photo. It was great. I got invited to the cookout. It was amazing.
It's a good question, and I wish I had a better memory of things. It's like anything from like even small problems that you would have, like problem-solving moments that you can solve without the client or a model ever even knowing that there was a problem. Like there was times where I would show up and realize that, oh crap, my trigger for my flashes isn't working. And I'm just like, okay, how do I fix this? And I remember one solution I came up with was I took some tape and some white paper and I taped it to the front of my camera, and there was a pop-up flash on the camera.
Yeah.
And I put a white piece of paper in front of that flash so that it wouldn't affect the model, but it would strobe so that the surrounding flashes would pick up that there was a strobe and they would fire. So I didn't need a trigger. I was triggering it with the on-camera flash without the on-camera flash affecting the photo. And that solution worked
amazing.
Perfectly fine. That wasn't even a cosplay photo shoot. That was ironically a corporate headshot that I was doing.
Really?
And it was just like, you have to come up with problems in real time to solve it without the client going, oh, this person fucked up. So I mean, that's an example of problem solving. When it comes to cosplay, probably an overarching tool I'll use in cosplay photography on that solves a lot of problems is listening to the subject that you're photographing, and like not just listening to the words, but like for their actions and how they are, the vibe,
How
the
do they
mood.
feel? Yeah.
And so like sometimes a lot of people is like, oh, you know, are they running out of energy? Have they had a snack? Are they lightheaded? Do they have the energy to do the photos? Should you take a break? And because there's a lot of people who are going to be like, no, I'm good to go, when they're not good to go. And so you kind of have to like craft in a break, or like, hey, you know what? You know, maybe even make something up and say, hey, I need 5 minutes, to force them to take 5 minutes maybe.
That was the last question. Where do people find you online?
Online? Instagram.
Only Instagram?
Only Instagram. I can't handle that many social media. I just keep it simple. Just one platform, Instagram. That's it.
And what's your at?
Kyo.png.
So you can find me on Instagram at a.r.cosphoto, and the same thing on Blue Sky if you're like a nerd. Those are only 2 socials that I use right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Instagram and Blue Sky.
Well, thank you again for this interview.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you so much. It's a good time.
Well, thank you again for this interview, and I wish you to have a wonderful rest of the convention.
Yippee! Day 3.
Yippee!
I can go home.
Well, here you have it. Hope you enjoy watching this video. If you have any stories, comments, or anecdote you want to leave about the world of when it comes to cosplay photography, leave them in the comment below. For example, which convention do you enjoy going the most when it comes to take pictures? Do you enjoy taking studio photography, and which one do you recommend? And when it comes to accessories, if you have any fun stories or scary stories, because sadly there are some photographers that groom younger generations of cosplayers, so we have to be mindful of that. Share your stories. We want to protect the newer generation, spread awareness and educate the signs of who you should not follow and things like that. If you want me to make videos about that, I would be interested to take a note and make some discussion about that. But other than that, thank you again for watching this video. If you didn't see my previous video where I interviewed artists that sell their art doing conventions, you can watch it right there. And if there's any other subjects when it comes to the world of cosplay or conventions that you would want to hear me talk about, or me interviewing other individuals about those subjects, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Merci beaucoup, thank you again, and have a wonderful time.